हेलो फ्रेंड्स, केजी क्लासेस में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम आपको ट्रेजेडी एंड द होल ट्रुथ बाय एल्डोस हक्सले के एक्सप्लेनेशन के बारे में बताएंगे। फर्स्ट है बट फील्डिंग रिफ्यूज्ड से लेकर के ऑफ द ओडिसी। एक्सप्लेनेशन इन हिज ऐसे ट्रेजेडी एंड द होल ट्रुथ हक्सले ड्रॉ a difference between the writer of a tragedy and the writer who tells the whole truth. He cites Homer and Fielding as instances of the latter category. Fielding's novel Tom Jones, according to Huxley, is written in Homer's Odyssean forms. In these lines, we are told that Fielding did not try to ignore what may be called irrelevant absurdities from Tom James. A tragic writer has to go on a selective basis and has to give up many things from a tragic work, but Fielding, the teller of the whole truth, did not take the method which a tragic writer takes. Fielding did not try to neglect even less important and comic episodes of a light nature, such as Sophia's tumbling down from her horse and exposing to the bystander the naked charms of her legs and things. The inclusive of such events in Tom Jones presents that Fielding did not want to be a tragedian or a tragic writer. Tom Jones is not a tragic work. It is concerned with the class of wholly truthful writings. Fielding put out tragedy from Tom Jones just as Homer had 2,500 years before put out tragedy from his well-known epic poem Odyssey. In the Odyssey, Homer explains how after losing several companions, the hero and his surviving comrades cooked their dinner, pacified their hunger, wept over the terrible fate of the dead man, and then fell asleep. Odyssey is also a work belonging to the category of wholly truthful art because it receives into account even the common and commonplace manifestation of human nature. नेक्स्ट है फॉर एग्जाम्पल आज से लेकर के टू द ट्रेजेडी। एक्सप्लेनेशन इन हिज ऐसे ट्रेजेडी एंड द होल ट्रूथ Huxley draw a clear difference between tragedy on the one hand and the whole truth on the other. Tragedy has to keep out many incidents and circumstances which are conveniently used in wholly truthful writings. Homer and Fielding make use in their writings of the many conditions of the kind which writers like Shakespeare have to put away from their tragedies. Huxley then gives us an illustration. Suppose that Shakespeare had explained in his tragedy Macbeth a condition in which Macduff were to eat his supper, then to grow and over a glass of whiskey, thinking of his murdered wife and children, and finally with his eyelids still wet with tears to fall asleep. Such a condition would have been realistic, but it could have no place in a tragedy. The introduction of such a condition would lend to Shakespeare's plan on Odyssean's quality and destroy its tragic character. नेक्स्ट है ऑल केमिकली से लेकर के ऑफ द मैग्नेट। एक्सप्लेनेशन हेडिंग है डिस्टिंग्विशिंग ट्रेजेडी फ्रॉम द होल ट्रूथ Huxley tells us that the tragedy is something separated from the whole truth. as an essence is separated from the living flower. If such be the character of tragedy, it is sure tragedy is something chemically cast. Being chemically chest, tragedy can stir our realizing soon and powerfully. All art which is chemically cast has this quality of being able to stir our realizings quickly and powerfully. That is the cause why those pornographic writings which are chemically pure make a more direct and a stronger effect to us than the whole truth about sex or than real sex activity. However, chemically pure pornography can be written only by those who have an actual life gift for it and who have the skill to communicate the facts of the matter to the reader. It is because tragedy is chemically pure that it can bring about what Aristotle called the purgation of our realizings of pity, fear, etc. Tragedy produces a most wholesome influence in our emotion and purifies our emotional balance to us, and tragedy does so immediately and powerfully when we witness or read a tragedy. The various elements of our individuality immediately fall into a harmonious pattern in the same way as tiny bits of iron manage themselves into a pattern under the influence of a magnet. नेक्स्ट है 10 स्काइलास से लेकर के ऑफ ट्रेजिडी। हेडिंग है एक्सप्लेनेशन। द चीप आर्गूमेंट्स इन हक्सलेज ऐसे ट्रेजिडी एंड द होल ट्रूथ इज दैट ट्रेजिडी इज केमिकली cast while wholly truthful writings make use of all kinds of conditions and scenes, including even irrelevant absurdities. The chief ingredients in a tragedy are excitement, agony, love, and man's unconquerable mind. These ingredients may obtain a place in wholly truthful writing also, but there these ingredients are placed in various contexts and thus acquire a various quality altogether. Homer explains in his Odyssey an incident of how some of companions of the hero were devoured by the monster called Scylla. This is naturally a tragic incident, but this event is placed by Homer in the midst of many details, including few irrelevancies in a tragedy called Phèdre. The French author Reclus explained how a man called Hippolytus is devoured by another monster, but Racine, a tragedian, produces a powerful effect by excluding details and irrelevance. Similarly, the mental troubles of the hero in Fielding's novel Tom Jones on thinking that he has lost his sweetheart Sophia is as ideal as that of Othello after his wife murder in Shakespeare's play. But again, the hero's loss in Tom Jones occurs in the midst of many less sufficient events and situations, while Shakespeare produces a concentrated effect by excluding irrelevancies of all kinds. Agonies and man's unconquerable mind do obtain a place in wholly truthful writings. also, but they are placed in a wider context and do not for this cause have the real effect of on us as the agonies and man's unconquerable mind have in the matter of tragedy. नेक्स्ट है द एग्जल्टेशन दैट से लेकर के लिटरेचर इज लास्टिंग। हेडिंग है एक्सप्लेनेशन। These lines from the essay Tragedy and the Whole Truth bring out the distinction between the effect of a tragedy and the effect of wholly truthful literature. Tragedy is chemically pure, it therefore functions on our realizings quickly and intensely, but the interesting effect of tragedy on our minds are like an intoxication that is not permanent. The pattern put on our minds by tragedy cannot go on for a long. Just as under the influence of a magnet, iron fillings manage themselves into a pattern but fall back into confusion when the magnet is removed, so the pattern put by tragedy on our minds wears away soon after the magic performance is over or soon after we have followed our reading of a tragedy. Wholly truthful literature, on the other hand, produces a pattern which ends much longer. This pattern is one of acceptance and neglection, while the pattern produced by tragedy is one of excitements. Both kinds of literature bring about a catharsis, but while the catharsis of tragedy is powerful and fleeting, the catharsis of wholly truthful literature is milder but permanent. The word catharsis was originally used by Aristotle and means the purgation of the realization of pity, fear, etc., which bring about an emotional balance or equilibrium in us. Thanks, best of luck.